But I don't feel like, hey, I'm using my daughter or.
You are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're living off of your daughter. I don't know what you don't understand about that. The government is providing for her through her
I
SSI.
am her caretaker. I take care of her.
You're not doing a good job because you are living off of her.
How am I not doing a good job?
Go to the store, put things in a cart, and then have a child push the cart outside. So you're basically unwittingly making a child a criminal. Why are you doing that? Why are you having a child help you steal?
When it's about children, Judge Boyd becomes a force of nature. These are the top 5 women who put themselves first and got exposed in her courtroom.
And this was my concern. How are you financially supporting yourself?
I get Social Security for my daughter.
Well, I mean, that's support for her specifically. That's not supposed to be for you using.
It covers like, because we get Section 8 and we get food stamps, and that's how I've been living from her for the past 8 years. Because she was going to be 9.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could everyone please whisper? And I'm sorry, could you speak
Sorry.
up?
And she's going to be 9. So I've been a full-time parent since then. I have little jobs here and there, but it's been difficult. Sometimes I can't hold them. I have too many appointments for her.
What appointments do you have for her?
Well,
What appointments do you have for her?
for her, we're supposed to be back on PT, OT. We have physical therapy. I'm supposed to give her a behavioral. I haven't done it because it's just so much. And then plus I've been feeling sick myself when we came last time, I had the mask on my neck still. And I'm supposed to see a doctor coming up this February.
When is she going to school?
She does go to school.
All right, so why don't you have a job while she's at school?
Because if she gets sick, and especially during this COVID time, I lost a job because of that. I had a job last year and I lost it because we had to stay home for 14 days. She has a real immune system. She's Down syndrome. So
Well, here's the thing. I understand your issues. I understand the situation. I understand that you want to care for your daughter. But I also understand that your sole source of support financially is not supposed to be your daughter's Social Security. You're going to have to get a job. And if you get a job and you lose a job, then you get the job and you lose the job for your daughter. But you need to start working because you're living off of your daughter's income. That's not right.
and that's not intentional either, Your Honor.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to correct that. You're going to have to get a job. And honestly, when you go in for a job interview, you need to inform them up front that my daughter's special needs, I may have to leave sometime. And normally employers will allow that. If you provide proof, you just can't say, well, I'm leaving because of this. I mean, there are plenty of times people in this court have emergencies with their children. And honestly, there are times in this court where the staff will tell me, my child has a soccer game. Can I leave early? I'm like, yes, you can. Go cheer on your child at the long soccer game. Because how long do those games last? Because I think with children now, they do something silly where you have like 4 games in one day or something.
Like tournaments.
Yes. So you got to get employment. You can't just be living off your daughter's Social Security.
It's not a plan that I wanted. It's very difficult. Like I do it by myself. I don't need to be upset, but I mean, if she gets sick, I'm able to go get her or be there for her.
Here's the thing. If
But
you're
I've
at
lost
work,
jobs
if
because
you're
of
at
that.
work and your daughter gets sick, you tell your employer, I just got a notice, my daughter's sick, I'm going to have to leave. And when you leave to go get your daughter, if they fire you, then who knows? Maybe you can get a civil attorney, maybe not. Maybe the civil attorney will tell you, yeah, you don't have a case. This is Texas. Or maybe they will tell you you do have a case. But if you lose your job, you lose your job. You can't depend on your child's check that's supposed to be for her specifically to financially support you. I mean, you tell me you're on Section 8, which means that the rent or whatever you're paying is much less than other people who are not, then so you're using your daughter's income for your housing, you're using her income for food, you're using her income for clothes, you're using her income for gas. If you're putting gas in your vehicle, if you have a vehicle, you're using her income for your car note. If you have a car note, you're using her income for your utilities. She is financially supporting you. And what I can tell you is there was a time, I think it was, I'm aging myself again. I want to say it's Jerry Coogan, who was a child actor in, I don't know, like the 40s or whatever time he was. And he ended up broke. And you know why he ended up broke? Because his parents were living off him and he was the sole supporter for his family. Your daughter should not be the sole source of financial support for you. So you're gonna have to get a job, and I'm requiring you to get a job. And if you end up getting fired from that job, then you get fired from that job and you're going to search for another one, because your sole source of income should not be your daughter. You understand? How old is your daughter? She's 8 years old. And the fact that you're using her money specifically for you to live off on, guess what? It's like your daughter is going to work to support you.
It's not like that, Judge Boyd. I had a job before. I lost a job. I tried to get a job again.
Mm-hmm.
When you do call centers or try to work from home, I'm trying. I have looked for jobs. I have put Indeed. I put everywhere so I can work from home. What makes you think, and sorry, no disrespect, but what makes you think that I want to live off of $800 and something a month when my car note is covering that and my rent? It is exhausting, and trying to be there mentally and physically for my daughter and all her appointments. I have put that on hold, which I'm not supposed to, but with COVID and everything else, and her low immune system has just been a headache for me. I do this alone. I don't ask anybody for help. I don't ask for any extra.
Is her father
finances.
alive?
No, not alive. He's not around. He said he didn't want a retarded daughter.
All right, so here's the thing, and this is what I try to tell everybody. We choose our partners in life. We decide to have children and we choose the partner that we're going to have a child with, usually, normally. So you chose him. And guess what? I'm not your civil attorney, but you walk straight over to civil court and you file documents to have him put on child support.
And he has not paid.
Well, then you need to go do an enforcement and you need to get an attorney to do that. But I want you to hear me clearly. I understand your issues. I do. But it doesn't change the fact that you are living off of your child. You're living off of her income. You need to get a job. That's the way it's, you got to get a job. That's the way it has to be, because you can't live off your daughter's income. Your daughter, even though she's getting Social Security, it's as though your daughter is working. You are not working. And you're living off of her. You're living off of her. And honestly, you're living off of taxpayers. Because you're in Section 8. How much is your rent?
$138 is going up.
Okay, so it's $138. How much should it really be though? I've had people come before me, their rent is $27 when it really should be $1,500. Everybody else in here, and not everybody, because I don't know everybody's situation, but I know everyone who is in the well of the court, they're not paying $138. I would love to pay $138 for our place. I would be living like a queen, traveling every single day because it's only $138. So here's the thing. You have got to get a job. End of story. You can't live off your child. And if there's a call center you can work for, then work for it. If you can work at McDonald's, then work at McDonald's. But I am not going to allow you to live off your daughter. And you're here for a driving while intoxicated case that was reduced to a misdemeanor. So the fact that you had alcohol, guess what? Your daughter paid for you to have alcohol. And I know your daughter's not drinking. So you took part of her Social Security money to pay for alcohol.
I didn't pay to use alcohol.
Did somebody buy you that drink?
Yes, ma'am. It was my birthday time.
Who bought you the drink?
My friend Val.
All right, so you're out drinking, enjoying your life. And was your daughter with you when you were drinking?
Yes, ma'am, and this is dinner.
So there we are. But you're going to get a job. Everybody in here is required to have employment. You cannot continue to live off your daughter. And you need to stay in touch with probation because I'm not even asking you to pay your fees. And it shows here that you have a net income of $540. That means that something needs to be cut out. I don't know if it's the cable TV. I don't know if you have cable, but you need to get a job. End of story.
It's my car.
All right, you need to get a job. All right. So she's going to be required to get employment.
And when is my probation end?
You're going to get employment. And here's the thing. If your probation needs to be extended, it will be, but you're getting employment before you leave this court. Part of completing probation successfully is having employment. Now, if you don't want to be on probation, if you want to, you can find someone who you trust to take care of your daughter and we can send you to the Bexar County Jail and you can do your time at the jail, but you will have employment in this court. Otherwise, a motion to revoke is going to be filed and you could potentially be at the Bexar County Jail for 180 days. It's completely up to you, but I require everyone to have employment. And again, she's not to have employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And I'm going to want an update on her employment by February the 1st. Let me see.
May I say something, Your Honor?
Sure.
I just don't want you to think like I'm using my daughter. That's not what it is. I was employed. I haven't been employed since last year and I haven't found a job. I have been looking and.
Well, if you have not been employed since last year, 1 month last year, when's the last time you? February.
Yes, ma'am.
So that means that you were not employed March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. You have not been working for 10 months. So you've been living off your daughter for 10 months and I'm not going to continue to allow it. You're getting a job.
And with all respect, yes, ma'am, I understand that. But I don't feel like, hey, I'm using my daughter or.
You are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're living off of your daughter. I don't know what you don't understand about that. Your rent, your daughter is paying your rent. You're not. Your utilities, your daughter is paying your utilities.
I am
The
her
gas, you're not providing for her. The government is providing for her through her
I
SSI.
am her caretaker. I take care of her.
You're not doing a good job because you are living off of her.
How am I not doing a good job?
You're living off your daughter financially. Here's the thing. If SSI were not to give your daughter any money, if you didn't have your daughter, you would not be getting Section 8 housing. You would not be living at the place you're living for $138. And it's probably, how many bedrooms is it?
It's two.
It's 2 bedrooms. How many bathrooms is it?
Two.
All right. It's 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom. I can tell you right now, I know without even looking at your place, that place is more than $138. And the reason why you're getting it for $138 is because of your daughter. So the taxpayers are picking up the tab on what you really should be paying for that. So you can thank your daughter for that. The utilities, if you have to pay utilities, your daughter is paying that, not you. The gas you put in your car, your daughter is paying that, not you. The groceries on your table, you say you get food stamps, the taxpayers are paying that. And anything extra that's not covered for food stamps, your daughter is paying that. So yes, you are living off of your daughter. You're not bringing anything financially to the table. And I'm going to say it for the last time. You are getting employment. You will have employment by February 2nd. If you do not, a motion to revoke will be filed and you could be looking at 180 days in the Bexar County Jail. Thank you. Ms. Morales, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Elsa Mireles.
All right, why are you stealing?
That was a bachelor. I wasn't thinking.
Why are you involving a child in theft? Because it says that this was the MO, go to the store, put things in a cart, and then have a child push the cart outside. So you're basically unwittingly making a child a criminal. Why are you doing that? I mean, your attorney was not there, so he can't answer this question. You did it. You took a child in Target, or as we say, Target. You took a child there, loaded things in a basket, and for that child to know to just push that cart towards all points of sale tells me that somebody told that child, this is what's going to go down. We're going to go in, we're going to put items in this cart, and you just keep pushing it. So why?
I have no words for that.
Yes. And how old was the child that you all involved in your criminal activity who now thinks it's okay to engage in criminal activity?
5 years old.
All right. So you took a 5-year-old. And what day of the week was this? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what day?
I'm not sure.
All right. Was it a school day?
No, I'm not too sure.
All right. So you take this 5-year-old, walk me through it. So the 5-year-old is pushing the cart out, and obviously police are called, right?
Right.
And did they speak to the 5-year-old? What is the 5-year-old thinking? Do you know? I know somebody will probably object to speculation, but I just want to know, what was the 5-year-old doing when police are there? I'm assuming you all were placed in handcuffs.
I was already in the car. It was with his mother.
Mhm. All right. So it was you and his mother who was stealing. Is that what you're saying?
We were already out and the mom told him to leave it there and he did it.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Somebody else helped the little boy push it out.
All right. So someone helped the little boy push the cart out after you all were committing a theft from Target. And what items were you all taking?
It was stuff for the kids.
No. Don't put this on the children. What items were you taking?
Toys.
And what else?
It was clothing.
So you're teaching children that in order to get things, they should steal. That's what you're teaching. And you left out to the tune of $553.69. So how full was the cart that you were taking out?
It was full.
All right. And then now I've received this letter where you took a child to help you steal, and somebody is saying that you're taking care of children and you're a home health care provider. I don't allow people in this courtroom who are on probation to be home health care providers. And who are you providing health to? Is this a relative?
No.
Right. So I don't know how you're able to take care of children and be a home health care provider.
Those are my kids that I take care of.
Mhm. I don't think you're a good candidate for probation because it appears that your background is littered with theft cases and you're here on a theft enhanced. And how old are you?
43.
I mean, you're old enough to know better. It's not like you're 20 or you're 19 and you have peer pressure. So again, tell me, why are you stealing? It says here that you have a job, that you can pay for things. I don't
I
understand
didn't have
the
a job
stealing.
at that time, Your Honor, but that doesn't excuse for it.
I'm sorry, what?
I didn't have a job at that time, but that doesn't excuse. for it.
And it certainly doesn't excuse involving a 5-year-old in your criminal activity. So again, why should I give you probation? The state is silent. Why should I give you probation?
Because I gotta take care of my kids. There's no fathers involved for my children.
Well, when you were using the 5-year-old to steal items, were you thinking about, who's going to take care of my children if I am at the Bexar County Jail? Were you thinking about that?
No, Your Honor.
And if something would have ended up happening, sometimes when people go to places and they steal, sometimes people end up getting shot. If that 5-year-old would have been shot, you know what would have ended up happening? You would have been on somebody's news, boo-hooing and crying about how it's unfair that your child was shot. So what am I supposed to do about this? You won't stop stealing.
I will, Your Honor.
No, did you say that to the last judge, that you were going to stop stealing? How many times in your lifetime on this planet, as a 41-year-old, have you had criminal cases for stealing? Now, mind you, name them all because I've read the report.
Like, I believe 5 cases.
And you have not learned anything from that. What you've learned, obviously, is to continue to steal and start this idea where you take a child in with you, you put items in a cart and you just have them pushing it out. In my mind, I can imagine this 5-year-old, because when you see children pushing carts, they're not even old enough to stand and look over the cart. They're just struggling, barely pushing it. And I'm always thinking to myself, why doesn't a parent help that child push that cart?
Your Honor, we told him to leave it there and he continued pushing it out. That's when the other 2 people helped him.
Oh, so now you're saying
Yeah, that's what we did.
you did not include him in your criminal enterprise.
We told him to leave it there and the other 2 people, random people, helped him.
Oh, so this is not a theft case. You were not intending to have him steal. Is that what you're telling the court?
That's what happened.
No. Are you telling the court that this was not a criminal enterprise, that you or somebody loaded a cart at Target with items, the 5-year-old was pushing it, and you're continuing putting items in a cart totaling over $500. And then as he's pushing the cart past points of sale, you're telling him, oh, just leave that there. Maybe you're telling him, we don't have money for that. We just loaded up the cart for some unknown reason and we have no money for that. Is that what you're telling the court? If not, let me know. I mean, I wasn't there, state wasn't there, your counsel wasn't there. I'm just trying to figure out if that's what you're telling me. If that's not what you're telling me, say, judge, no, that's not what I'm telling you. I'm not going to take that as a sign of disrespect, okay? So are you telling the court that you all loaded up a cart of items at Target? The 5-year-old is pushing the cart and you're telling the 5-year-old, leave the cart there. We don't have any money for these items. And your intent was just to walk out. Is that what you're telling the court?
To walk out without the stuff, like to leave the stuff there.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Judge, with this testimony elicited from my client at this time, I think we need to ask the court to withdraw her plea.
All right, that'll be denied. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to find you guilty. Court is going to sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility. Give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration GJ 812055, JN number 2127782. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. Do not steal. Do not take what does not belong to you, and do not involve children in your enterprise. So why are you stealing?
I stole because I was in foster care when I was little. And I never really had nothing. So when my kids asked me for something,
No, because let me just tell you. How old are you?
27.
27? Did you say 27?
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, the choices you make are choices of your own making. You can't continue to blame the fact that you were in foster care on you continuing to steal. So again, we're back to the point, why are you stealing? And this is not, oh, my children asked me for something, so I've given this to them. Because again, this is the case where you took a child into Target to steal for you. And you were bringing a child into your criminal criminal organization. So why are you having a child help you steal?
I didn't have the child help me still.
No, you did, because the 5-year-old was pushing the cart with items in it. You were not pushing the cart. You had a 5-year-old, according to this police report, you were walking in front of the shopping cart. That 5-year-old was pushing a cart that you and your friends had loaded items with past the points of sale. That's what it says here. A child was pushing the cart. You were not pushing a cart. You knew you didn't pay for the items. Why are you having a 5-year-old steal items for you and push the cart?
My mom told me to.
You just said you were in foster care. So
wasn't.
who's your mother?
Oh, somebody else.
All right. So why are you hanging around with a mother who is telling you to steal and get in a 5-year-old to steal?
I don't.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
How can you not know?
For the record, Judge, the mother was a co-defendant in this case, and she has repled to this as well. Is that correct, State?
Yeah, yes, Judge. She received 1 year, Judge.
Yes, I know I remember this case. So again, why are you involving children in theft?
I wouldn't involve my children now. It says that on the report, but it's not.
It's not your child?
That's not my child.
All right. So what you did then was you took an innocent child, somebody else's child, and
I
you're
went with-
involving them in theft.
I went with my mom to Target, just her child. And we
So
proceeded
with your mother's child, and y'all proceeded to commit a theft and involve the child in your criminal enterprise. So when are you going to stop stealing? Are you just planning on spending the rest of your life in and out of facilities
No,
because you had about bad childhood?
No, ma'am.
At some point, every tub got to sit on its own bottom. At some point, when you're an adult, it's no longer your parents' fault. Even if you had a horrible parent, it's no longer their fault. At some point, your decisions are decisions of your own making. And this 5-year-old, y'all involved in your criminal enterprise, guess what? When he becomes an adult, and if he were to start stealing at some point, he can't blame it on the mother who was a horrible mom and the sister who's a horrible sister who's getting him to commit crimes. And if you were in foster care, as you say you were, then that means that your mother was not a good parent, because otherwise you would not have been in foster care, and you probably shouldn't be hanging around with her. And if you're going to hang around with her, you should probably be being a positive influence on your siblings' lives instead of teaching them how to steal from Target. People don't like when people steal. And anything could have went south with you all stealing. Sometimes people get shot when they steal. And so because of you and your mother, a 5-year-old and the other children had to sit in a car and wait for somebody to come pick them up. And I'm sure they were sitting in the police car behind the cage window. And then everybody will be acting, oh, I can't believe the police officers put a 5-year-old in the car. When really what they should be saying, I can't believe an adult would involve a 5-year-old in criminal enterprise. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to find you guilty, sentence you to 18 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with 704510. Take in consideration 812048, JN number 2127815, 720359. There is to be no contact with any target in the United States of America, overseas, or anywhere. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be restitution and no contact with Patricia Esparza and cause number 720359. There's to be restitution to the target at 4522 Fredericksburg Road, Balcones Heights, 78201. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing? Going to show you what the title trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Did you review that with
Yes.
your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're gonna go off the record. Any children? What are their ages?
I just had a newborn. He's 4 months, and then I have a 5, a 7, a 9, 11, and 13.
So newborn, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you employed?
Not at this moment. I'm looking forward.
Just 1 moment off the record. Let them know, because I realize how hot it is out there because it's hot in here. All right. Yes, thank you. All right, we're back on the record. Are you employed?
Not at the moment.
Are your children living with you?
With my mom.
Child Protection Services involved?
With my newborn. Not my mom has the other.
So does your mother have custody of the 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13-year-old? Were your rights terminated?
No, they weren't terminated. I just have partial custody.
Was Child Protective Service involved in the 5, 7, 9, 11, and
Yes.
13-year-old? When you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And you need to be honest with me because I'm trying to figure out if you can be helped or not on probation.
Negative.
All right, when's the last time you used drugs?
February 6th.
All right, we're going to do a drug test today.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and this is just a side note, why do you continue to have children knowing that you don't have custody of any of your children and that you have an issue?
I'm not sure.
You're going to have to find out because this is where we're at. In your life, you have all these children. You don't have custody of any of them. You're not employed, and you say you're living with your mom?
No, I'm not living.
Who are you living with?
I just live at a hotel. It's a hotel.
How are you paying for that?
I do side like when I go to labor ready and stuff like that, but nothing something like every day, no.
All right, hotel to hotel is not going to be stable for your children.
I understand.
And Child Protective Services is not going to give you your children back if you're living from hotel to hotel.
I understand.
But if your decision is you have no plans to do what you need to do, then don't disrupt your children's lives. Don't keep coming back in their life, disappointing them.
I understand.
And now you know for sure how children are made and where they come from. So you're not ready to have children, you understand? And did you receive a CPS plan from CPS?
Yeah.
Who is your CPS attorney?
I don't know.
I'm just asking, these are things that you should know because that case should, other than this case, that case should be one of the most important cases in your life because it's involving your newborn.
Well, I have it, but it's on my phone.
Okay. All right. Anything you want to add, counsel?
No.
So this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. If she completes what she needs to complete for CPS, of course, she can always come back and ask for early termination. But that's going to be 3 years deferred adjudication, a $500 fine that will be probated, CPS compliance, and probation. If you can look and see whether or not CPS has her in their treatment program. If they do not, we're going to do a referral to felony drug court because there was more than morphine in that vehicle. Referral to felony drug court. If felony drug court does not accept her, we're going to do a TAP evaluation, follow TAP recommendations. If TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. Is there a reason why you're not able to get employment?
Just because I'm doing the classes and stuff that they asked me to, so I'm just following up with that.
All right. How far did you go in school?
I graduated.
Okay. All right. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. What do you want to do with the rest of your life, career-wise?
Well, I was going to school in the county, but when I had my twin, one passed.
I'm sorry to hear that. So what are your plans now?
I want to go back to school.
Okay. All right. 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to want parenting classes. And if CPS, which they should be giving her parenting classes, that can count. And if she completes the parenting classes, I'll waive 40 hours of her community service restitution. And she's going to do trade school or either some higher level of education. If she completes that, the remaining hours will be waived. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs. We'll do a UA today to see what's going on. 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Field visits. 1 time per month until further notice. No unsupervised contact with minors. If CPS ends up allowing you to have unsupervised contact, then you can come back here in the courtroom, consider changing that. But for now, there's not to be any unsupervised contact because I know CPS tells you where to have your visits and when. Probation, is there anything else you need? Is there anything else you need from the court? I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Bernal, do not be that parent who only does well when CPS is in your life or the court is in your life. If you have no intention and you know yourself better than I do, your attorney, or even better than your caseworkers of probation, if you have no intention of doing what needs to be done to have your children in your life on a permanent basis and be a permanent positive influence on them, you need to just let them go. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Ms. Bernal, is there anything else you need from the court? All right, good luck to you. Yes. Right, Ms. Beasley,
Yes, ma'am.
you have issues on your probation. What do you think those issues are?
I have not completed a few things on my probation.
Do you want to go to prison?
No, ma'am.
Then why are you not doing what is being asked of you?
I currently am. I have to just pay my fees, I know, and then I'm currently in my outpatient class that I start on the 12th of June. So
Have you turned over information to probation showing
Yes.
that you're actually doing this?
yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the intensive outpatient treatment begins with Bear County on the 12th of June.
And I've also completed my drug offender class. I'm trying to see, everybody's saying, like, as far as my probation officer that I currently have says that my parenting class is not on file, which I don't know why, because I had to do my parenting class in order to get my child back
Did
in
you
the.
complete it?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Let me ask you, what have you learned from parenting?
I mean, I just learned how to cope with things I have going on in order to take care of my child and make sure she has a good life.
Well, what I'm getting here, which I have an issue with, is that it appears that you keep following your boyfriend wherever he may be.
No, ma'am, that's not what's going on.
No, that's what it says here. It says you were supposed to be in Pflugerville. And then you left Pflugerville. Then you returned to Bear County to live with your boyfriend.
Mhm.
So then Travis County closes the case. Then in April, you said you're returning to Travis County because your boyfriend has a job in Austin.
Yes, ma'am, that is my boyfriend that I'm currently pregnant by, and that's the only reason why I moved to Bear County back there, because that's where he was at, and this is not the person that it was that I got in trouble for, or nothing like that.
No, it appears that you keep bringing people into your child's life. That's why you have had the CPS case. That's why I ordered parenting classes, because you keep putting boyfriends before your children, because you keep moving from place to place. I am sure, how old is your oldest child?
She's 5.
I am sure your 5-year-old is probably saying, please, can I just be in a class with classmates and know these people and not be moved from place to place? You have your core person. Your core person is your boyfriend. Your child would like to have, if Susie's her best friend, she would like to know that Susie's going to be my best friend tomorrow, because I'm not getting moved from place to place because some boyfriend is going from job to job. And that's what you're doing. And you keep changing addresses, and the court is not having that anymore. What are you doing with your life other than following your boyfriend around? Do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
So why do you keep following your boyfriend around? What is it he find a job wherever you are so that your child is not uprooted constantly?
Well, as of right now, Your Honor, my child hasn't started school, so I felt like this would have been the most reasonable time to do this, to move wherever the job was better at. I work from home, so it's not really just too much of an issue for me.
No, not for you. It's an issue for the child. And I don't think parents understand. Basically, your lifestyle for your child is not stable for her. Adults are always making moves to benefit themselves. And in the background, they say, oh, well, it's benefiting my child because I'm going with this new guy and he has a job here, so we're going to have a better living situation. That's not stability for your child. So now she's made friends wherever she made friends, and then she's moving to a whole another city, have to make all new friendships. When you have your core connection is this boyfriend that you're following around from place to place. And you're following people from place to place and not receiving permission from the court to do so. You are on paper. And that means that when you're on paper, you follow the rules that I give you. You don't up and leave from place to place. And it appears that you've moved like maybe 3 different times without the court's permission. And you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And what great job did your boyfriend have that you moved to Austin?
He's a teacher, Your Honor. He coaches as well.
Do we have any proof of that?
No, Your Honor.
We have 0 proof of that. And I'm telling you right now, you are coming back to live with your father, the child's grandfather. And I'm sure that was the person that CPS had as your, what is it called?
Safety.
Yes, safety person. So you're coming back to move with that child's grandfather, and that is where you are going to be. And if you're going to be living with this boyfriend, then you need to provide information to probation, what his name is, where he works, and who is he? Because I don't know.
I have spoke to Miss Callie Jones. Miss Callie Jones had him email her a letter of where he works and who I'm staying with, and that he provides everything as for me as far as paying the bills and stuff. So that email has been sent out, and I actually have the email as well.
Well, I don't have that information, and I did not approve of that. So you're coming back to live with your daughter's grandfather.
But Your Honor, as of right now, I cannot do that because my father has a restraining order because he tried to shoot me. He has a felony right now of trying to do that. So
Oh, really? Is that what we have?
He's, from what Ms. Beasley reports is he's currently or was currently in jail for.
Do we have information of that?
That's what, I don't have it offhand, Your Honor. I'd have to kind of research that a little bit.
Okay, because I don't have any documentation of that.
I know that that's what Ms. Beasley told Officer Rodriguez as well.
Well, if that happened in Bear County, there should be some sort of documentation of that.
Excuse me, it didn't happen in Bear County. It happened in Killeen. That's where he lives. That's where he never lived in Bear County.
Oh, well, it still should be easy enough for us to find that as well. So where did this supposedly happen?
In Bell County, yes.
All right, we're going to find that out.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
So if she has completed the classes that were mandated, the parenting program, the drug course, we just do not have any type of documentation of that.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to reset this because I want information on her father. And she's going to provide all that documentation. And if that documentation is not provided, then a warrant is going to be issued for your arrest if you don't provide this documentation to probation that they're saying they do not have. We're going to come back. Ms. Ferguson, can we bring this back on June 1st? All right, we're coming back on June 1st.
I have a question, Your Honor. So with
Yes.
the probation officers that do have this information, I'm just trying to figure out why it's not getting back to you that do have the documentation of stuff that I finished.
All right. Well, I can't answer that question. I'm not the probation officer.
Bear County probation does not have the information.
Yes. Bear County probation has no information.
Okay, because I've had my probation officer with Coppers Cove and Travis County, and those two.
Well, see, here's the thing. The problem is your Travis County, it's closed. You know why it's closed? Because you no longer are there. All these places that you're talking about, probation should have it here or have it there, they've closed out because you leave without permission. And a motion to revoke should really be filed against you, and you should be brought back to Bear County and brought over from the jail wearing blue because you are just moving without the court's permission, and you're moving around with a 5-year-old and not providing them any stability, which the court does not like.
It's not about stability. I have apartments. My leases are up. I move. Like, that's just all there is.
Here's the thing. Do you not understand that you're on probation? It's a contract with the court. And if you don't follow the rules I set for you, that you could go to prison. How hard is that to understand? You don't get to move wherever you want to live because you're on probation, or as people say, you're on paper. You don't get to do whatever you want to do. You're supposed to do what the court is telling you to do. And as a part of your instructions, all these places that you're moving to, I didn't give you permission to move to. And then you're moving to them. And then you're just leaving, going somewhere else. And then I get notice that probation and these different cities or counties that you're staying in, they're closing it because you moved somewhere else. Again, following a boyfriend. I don't know why. It doesn't matter to me if it's boyfriend or girlfriend. People be pinning their hopes on these people. Will you please turn off your phone, Miss Conley? People be pinning their hopes and dreams on a boyfriend or girlfriend. They don't have any legal connection with them. They're just following them across the world. So this is coming back on June 1st. All right. So Miss Beasley, do you have any children living with you? All right. And who is that?
Royalty, she's my father.
All right. So I'm not going to allow you to live with Mr. Williams because he has issues of his own. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I don't, and I wanted to let you know, we're not together no more, and nothing like that is going on.
When did that, you need to speak up. When did that end?
I would say about a month ago.
Because you were just here with us by Zoom, were you not?
Yes, ma'am.
And when was that?
Thursday.
Thursday. So who are you living with?
No, we are in my apartment. That's where we are at in Austin.
And who lives in the apartment with you?
Me and Royalty, he doesn't stay there anymore. He's back in San Antonio.
No, that's not what you said on the Zoom. I will tell you, my mind is a steel trap. I remember you being on Zoom and I remember you saying that you lived there with him.
Yes,
And
ma'am,
my
we did.
issue was that you all were jumping from place to place to place.
Yes, ma'am. So we were living with him at first in San Antonio, then we moved to Austin. I stayed in Austin, he left back to San Antonio.
Deputy Laura, can you look this cause number up and tell me if he is in custody? It's 2018 CR 12116. Right, so he's not here in Bear County, because if he was, there's a warrant for his arrest and he would be here. So he's not here.
He's not with me,
Yeah.
so I don't. know where
All
he's
right.
at.
So you need to come back to Bear County
Yes.
because you're not in a stable situation and you're not even stable where you are because you say the lease is not even in your name because of your issues. So you need to come back to Bear County. You understand? All right. Bashan?
Yes, Your Honor.
On this case, I'm giving her 14 days to get back to Bear County. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are not allowed to move anywhere else without my permission. So if there isn't something on your paperwork that says Judge Boyd is giving you permission to move, you are not to. Do you understand? All right. And I'm going to explain something to you. I know sometimes people say, Judge, it's not your business that I'm moving all over the place and taking my child everywhere, but it is. And the problem is people don't understand that children are people too. And part of my job when I take, people and place them on probation is to protect the community. And for some reason, people think protecting the community doesn't include children, that children have no rights and they should just go on their merry way on whatever adventures or misadventures their parents are taking them. So if you look at it objectively, your daughter has been taken from place to place to place. And Mr. Williams, he's not her biological father, is he? So I want you to think about how many men or how many adults you brought into your daughter's life that shouldn't be there. He is on probation for assault bodily injury out of a felony court, and that's who you brought into your daughter's life. I don't know why people don't do background on people when they have children. You should stop bringing random people into your child's life. You understand? What did you learn from that course?
Well, I took it in 2022. I can't say everything I remember, but basics as far as how you should treat your child and how to cope with things with your child, how to act around your child, what not to do around your child.
How not to bring inappropriate people around your child, which is what you did. She needs an updated course of parenting, a remedial course in parenting. So if there's another course for her to take, and it doesn't have to be the complete long course, but obviously she didn't get the point that you're not supposed to just allow random people around your child. So is there a course? Should we try rainbows?
I'll talk to the.
And if you are not by care, by June 20th, what's going to end up happening is a warrant may be issued for your arrest. You understand?
Yes.
Let me explain something to you. She is 100% dependent on you to protect her, to bring good people into her life. You understand? You can't come first anymore. It has to be her because she cannot get a job on her own. She cannot take care of herself. She can't enter into contracts where she gets apartments on her own and any of that. She's dependent on you. You understand? All right. Is there anything else you need from me? You sure? All right. So in this court probation, to be successful, you got to communicate. If there's something going on in your life that you need help with, contact probation. If you feel they're not addressing that issue, then you can come to court, okay? All right, good luck to you.